out there listening. Welcome to the Broken Battery Entertainment Pop Culture Podcast. We're back at you again. Me, Travis, and of course, my co-pilot.
What up, Pips?
Mike.
Big Mike. I need a longer name.
Yeah, well, Michael.
I mean, it could go Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thinking outside the box.
Anytime I hear Michael in your vicinity, it's usually your wife yelling at you by calling you by your full name.
Yeah. It happens every now and then. I get in trouble. It's all right. It is what it is.
Yes, we're here again to give you the best in entertainment and in reviewing anything regarding TV, movies, books.
I wouldn't say best. It's more like
video games.
Mediocre opinions.
Yeah, I wouldn't say even mediocre. I'm saying they're good. We're giving you the facts about our opinions on this. That's what we always do.
So our opinions are facts.
That's fact. That's fact.
That's a fact. Look at that. Inception of a fact.
Fact checkers need not to apply here either. And with that, no further ado, we're going to head right in to our first segment, Spotlight, where we spotlight a specific thing in media that we enjoy, that we think needs a little more, I don't know, a little pizzazz and attention. And this could be stuff that's been canceled. So I'm gonna take the floor on this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
because I forgot about. I was prepared last time, but not this time for some reason.
What happens? You forget. It's easy.
I'm old.
Yep. So anyway, I would say if you're a fan of cartoons and and with a mature setting to them, do yourself a favor and watch Metalocalypse. It was on Adult Swim. It's about a fictional band called Death Clock, and it's hard to explain. I would suggest you just watch it because it's very, very good. It makes fun of metalhead culture, and I like some heavy music, but I like other types as well. I mean, I'm not a big country fan, but everything else is pretty good.
It's funny, every time you describe something, I have like a, what the fuck are you talking about look on your face? Because it's just something I have no clue about. The first one you talked about, I forget what the other, that was a cartoon, right? The superhero one?
Invincible.
So I did see that sitting in my Amazon as, hey, you should watch this.
You should definitely watch it.
I'm trying.
Do not watch it with your children.
I won't watch it with my children. I've got the wife watching, what's the one on Amazon? The Guys?
The Boys?
The Boys. I say that wrong every
Boys
fucking
is
time.
good.
So we're like 6 episodes into that now.
Oh yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
And if it keeps following the trend and they try and follow the comics, it's going to get even more raunchy real fast.
Excellent.
And I take it Mike doesn't have one this week.
Oh, that was... Yeah, no, I got one.
What
actually. So I say this all the time. What the fuck is a book? And it's an old book. And I'm not sure how many like sports fans we have out here in this, Great World podcast.
I like sports.
Sports is good. Old book. It got a little flair, but then there was a movie afterwards, and everybody watched the movie and thought, oh yeah, that Moneyball.
Yes.
Fucking fantastic.
Good.
Fuck the movie. Now I will watch the movie when it's on.
Read the book. I have not read the book.
You've not read? I have the book. I'll let you loan it.
Oh, nice.
Borrow it.
That's fine.
Rent it out.
You rent out your book.
I don't, but yeah. Anyways, the book is, as per usual, always phenomenal compared to movie. Some of the shit like they do in the movie, I'm like that's not what fucking happened.
Well, that's how almost all adaptations from books.
I know, but if you did enjoy the movie, or you like baseball, or you like an outside thinking of baseball, go back. I mean, the A's are still a competitive team with that. The same concept.
You said formula.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. I mean,
they pipe down at a couple of years they'll be bad, but they're still the small market team that's still like they were in the playoffs last year. Like it's amazing how they keep finding success in a shitty stadium
with apathetic fans.
Yeah.
Well, you see, it's funny. Do you ever think that Jonah Hill gets typecast because he's always the secondary guy in some kind of big business thing that does a turnaround? No, Wolf of Wall Street, he was that one. He was in that as the secondary guy. Moneyball, he's the secondary guy who's the accountant. He's not really Brad Pitt.
He was supposed to play. That's a made-up character, but it's based on an actual character.
Really?
And they didn't get approval from that guy based on
because he's a knob.
Based on how they're trying to portray it. And it would have been cool to be able to, if you've read the book, and that guy is still a GM somewhere.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because he was the assistant there.
Yeah, I remember.
he's ran a couple organizations, so it's actually like, oh, I wish they could have just said, hey, that's him. You know, like some people, if you're not a fan or you haven't read the book or
Right.
you're watching it because fucking Brad Pitt's in it.
I don't think I was watching because Brad Pitt.
No,
was
I'm
in
just
it,
saying like a general concept. So we're like, oh, Brad Pitt's in it. I'm watching it. What?
Oh yeah, it must be good if Brad Pitt's in it. Go watch World War Z.
Chris Pratt's in it.
Chris Pratt delivers. Wasn't he? Was he a baseball player?
Scott Hatterberg. He's the first baseman that never played first base before that.
Oh yeah. You realize that was Chris Pratt.
Yeah, that's
looks
like one
way
of his first...
different.
Yeah,
he's a little thicker.
Yeah.
He's a little thicker in that one. Okay, cool. So there you go.
All right,
check it out. Mike says, check out Moneyball, the book, and I check out the cartoon Metalocalypse. It was on Adult Swim, and you will not be disappointed whatsoever. Anyway, so what's the topic for today? I know this is something special to you.
I'll have this drunk conversation once a week at a bar with anybody.
It's usually me, but it's okay.
The worst sitcom endings, period. And I'm not talking, we're not going to count like the ones that got cut.
Oh, you canceled, but they actually wrote it this way?
Yeah, like this is our plan, this is how we're ending. Not oh, you're done and this doesn't count. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting that now. And if we run into something where that may be involved, we can discuss it, but this list does not include ones that were cut like that, just randomly chopped, boom, canceled.
I'm going, but if they did make an episode intent on closing out the series, you are open game on this one.
Even if it's like, hey guys, this is gonna be the last season, and you
better figure it out.
You gotta fucking figure it out. You're a fucking writer. That's your job.
Fucking writer.
You should always have that end game ready because your seasons aren't guaranteed anyways. I mean, it's not like Friends that's like, okay, we're gonna do 10 seasons.
This is bullshit.
Even
It's bullshit.
Even if you went in a plan. Like,
you can't do this to artists, okay? You can't do this to artists.
Even if you had a plan, like, all right, I have this show idea, and we're gonna run 8 seasons, and this is how there's no guarantee you get to that.
No, absolutely not.
So you got to have that exit strategy, anyways. You got to figure out a way to get there.
One series in particular that I'm not sure if it did fall in that category or if they just planned it this way was Elf. Because I remember being fucking heartbroken at the end of that series because he got picked up by the government.
Yeah.
He got, like, that one asshole alien kind of just left him high and dry. Now, were they expecting to get another season out of that? I'm not sure.
I'll have to look that up.
Maybe, I wasn't quite sure.
I don't know about you, but I had an Elf doll.
Yeah, I did too.
All right. Yeah.
I loved the cartoon that they made off it when he was living on Melmac. Too.
Yeah.
But I liked Elf. I didn't understand half the fucking jokes that were on the show.
At the time.
At the time, no, because I was really little. But I just thought he was cool. So
I don't think you'd be able to show now about an alien that eats nothing but cats
and drinks beer. Yeah.
Because there'd be so many jokes like he eats cats.
He eats cats.
He eats pussy.
Yeah. I don't think that's where we're going with that, but maybe because writers like to sneak shit in.
Right.
Flat out. Okay. So.
All right. So I didn't rank mine. I just have a ton of discussions. Do you have a ranking?
We're in no particular order because bad is bad when it comes to this.
All right.
What you gotta have a beginning and an ending for any fucking story. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, well, I wrote it for like one season. Well, you're an asshole then.
Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah.
You should have applied for like a miniseries or something like that, or made a movie.
That's like, and I didn't write this show in, but like, you ever see the show Newsroom in HBO?
Yeah.
So fucking good.
It was good.
And it's so disappointing that like I could watch that show still.
Yeah,
there's 3 seasons.
It's known wide and far for that Jeff Daniels freak out in that auditorium.
That's still posted. People post it like it's a fucking real thing.
I know.
Many people post like, "Oh my god, he's being real." I'm like, "No, that's a fucking TV show, you dumbass."
And the funny thing is the weird thing about that scene is conservatives think it's about bashing liberals, and liberals think it's about bashing conservatives. You really don't know where fucking Jeff.
Well, that's the whole
Daniels
series premise. It's like towards the end where he kind of finally goes into what his beliefs and what party he is, but that's the whole like he hides that for
forever.
2.5 seasons basically.
Decent,
also, Olivia Munn is in it, and
Yum.
Scrumdiddlyumptious. Jesus Christ. You could take
she
a
did her
limb.
best work on Attack of the Show. I don't care what anyone says, but she was in
I
that
would
one,
lose
she
a
was yum.
limb.
She was yummy on that one.
You could take any limb of mine for me to have.
Any limb?
Once.
Any
Well,
limb?
not that one. Any of that.
That'd be like one of those awful, like, Twilight Zones. You're like, I'll give up anything, and then you like wake up, your cock's gone. You're like, no.
I just skull fuck her. Just use my head. Just whatever. Like I don't care.
Like Bonk's Adventure.
Yeah. Fucking cone heads.
Cone heads.
I don't care. I'm in on that.
Okay, so
anyhow, my point on that was like those short seasons. That's like it's so like, oh God, why was there only this? I've actually I fell in love with like shows that only had like 2 or 3 seasons, and then they just stopped.
Well, I read somewhere that that's what a lot of them expect. They expect like they don't write too far ahead into the future. It's usually 1, 2, and 3. Like for instance, Supernatural, which is on my list for a terrible finale. I mean, a lot of people agree with it. Oh, again,
that show's like 18 fucking seasons or something like that, right? Like that show's
it's
so
11.
Long.
It's like 11 seasons.
That's it.
Yeah.
God, I felt like there were so many. I didn't watch it because
it jumped the shark and then it came back and then it jumped the shark and then it came. No, but it didn't jump the shark for long. There was like a couple things, but then it got interesting again. And I'm like, I'm not a yo-yo. Don't do this to me.
I didn't even have that. You said jump the shark, and obviously it makes me think of Happy Days. I didn't even have that. I didn't even that's obviously a terrible ending.
Yeah, that's.
But I didn't have that written down. It's like you said, that's like the fucking king of all
things. No. There is one, and I have it ready, and it's probably on every. It's probably on every fucking list.
Yeah, most of these. This is one of those almost like.
Universal thing people agree upon.
Yes.
But you want to know why? Because it's like the writers decided to take a giant shit, or the producers just didn't give a fuck how it ended.
Yeah. So what we'll do, what I suggest then is we'll just go back. I'll start with one, and if it's on your list, we'll talk about it, knock it off, and then you bring up the next one, and you.
Sure.
All right. So I'm not going to steal one of yours that we just discussed earlier. Okay. I'm going to go with one that I watched very often and can easily discuss.
What
is? How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, fucking A. I agree 100% on that one.
What a fantastic show for 5, 6 seasons. Like, they really hit their fucking grind there in the middle there. And then, fuck.
Boom. Shit sandwich.
So,
shit sandwich.
So, first of all, they were going to end at 8.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, their plan was just to show the mom.
That would I would find that so much more satisfying than what I saw.
Better than what they did. So I have multiple bitches about this, but if they would have ended that way, I'm like, what the fuck? But it would have been an end, right? They never said they were going to have this whole relationship with the mom. The whole premise is How I Met Your Mother. Boom, here's the mom, right?
How I Met Your Mother, not like How I Met Your Mother and then recorded.
Yeah. So I could have, if they would have done it that way, I don't think it'd be on my bet. It'd be at that mediocre.
Yeah, but a lot of people got sour because knowing that the mom died.
Well, it's not that the mom died. I don't care that the mom died. You did everything for fucking 8 seasons to make sure
they met.
It wasn't Robin.
It wasn't Robin.
And then the mom dies.
And then it turned out
to be... he gets with Robin. Are you fucking kidding me? And what pisses me off is the last season. They did on the fly, right? Because they said we want one more.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did a good enough job to establish a relationship with the mom with each character before Ted, to where when they met, all of them are like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Like they all approved. So they, and it's far fetched. She didn't run into fucking Barney in the fucking in a
convenience store
in a Rite Aid.
Yeah,
let's say. And she touched him like that. No, that didn't fucking happen.
No.
But you did. They in one season, they establish a relationship with each character, attaching her, and I liked that. And even the little tidbits of their relationship that they showed.
I don't think if that's an all or nothing thing though, Mike. Like if they showed that, it would take away from just meeting her. Because I mean, I understand where you're coming with that. That's good. Boy, I mean, it's an all or nothing scenario with me. The last season, it has its points. Yeah, he should have never fucking met her. It should have met her last episode, but they shouldn't have showed oh, wait a minute, we're gonna show them in bed and she's pregnant or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I totally understand. You're just like the whole Robin situation was like, no.
You did everything to make sure. And the whole time when you're watching, you're like, oh, it's Robin. It's Robin. Nope. They made sure it's not Robin. It could be Robin. Nope. They're really fucking driving the fucking anvil on that one. It's not Robin. It's not Robin. And you start to like, I can't say, I really liked Veronica.
Well, of course you did.
I hated Stella.
Stella was an
Fucking
asshole.
hated Stella. I loved Veronica. That was the one that I was like, this.
I liked Zoe more than I liked Stella.
I didn't mind Zoe. I liked Quinn with Barney more than anybody, the stripper.
Yes.
Oh, I loved her.
Because she was basically a female Barney.
Yeah.
The fact that she totally took him for all that money was fucking hilarious. But I digress. Yeah, but I will all for in the future doing a full analysis of How I Met Your Mother. But I agree with you that last episode was kind of weak. The last season, I think, like you said, he got painted on because they're like, we need more money.
Yeah,
They should have ended it at the end of 8.
It was the what was it? CBS wanted another season.
You don't say no to CBS.
So I thought they did a good enough job. It was, they drag out the whole wedding day over the season.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's like,
or it's the weekend.
God.
It was a wedding weekend.
Yeah, it was. And they did there was episodes that was funny.
They actually had one of the best episodes I feel that it was ever in the show was the one where it just dictated what was going on with the mom the whole fucking time.
Oh, Robin's mom?
No, not Robin's mom. I'm talking about the mom, the mother.
Yeah.
You're like just the
near how she's getting like screwed over by the lead singer and all that.
Yeah, and like the
and
near misses. Like she was in the audience when Ted was up at like doing like the presentation. Like when he was in the wrong classroom.
Architect 101, but it wasn't Architect.
Yeah,
well, and she's at the St. Patty's Day party.
And she met the naked man.
Yeah. Where he's ordered for he's ordering the bottles of Dom Perignon and he's hitting on that girl all night. I can't remember.
It's okay. We're not gonna go too deep in it.
Yeah. Like that one was good. Isn't that the same season where Barney gets? Like they get him that perfect drunk where he can tell the truth.
He explained everything.
He explained what his job was and all that. That's a fucking hilarious episode.
Yeah. Like they had some good stuff that they realized. Well, we never explained it, but let's just put it in there. Like they never explained the pineapple. I'm glad they never explained the pineapple. That's great for me. But I Met Your Mother should have ended at the end of season 8.
Yep.
Boom. Okay. Here's one that kind of scarred me a little bit because I loved TGIF was dinosaurs.
Oh,
it is
not the mama, right?
Not the mama.
Not the mama.
I was fucking scarred. I mean, obviously the dinosaurs went extinct, but they showed it. They froze to death. This thing happened where these bugs showed up and they sprayed for it. It killed all the plants and stuff. And I forget the full details. All I know is the episode ended with snow continuing to fall, and the baby was worried about everybody leaving. I'm like, how the fuck do you gut punch a bunch of kids, man? Why don't you push down
TGI Friday?
TGI Friday is more like it. Yeah. You drove us to TGI Fridays when we got older because we had to drink to forget about that fucking scarring ending.
Thanks, TGIF.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, TGIF.
I thought you made me drop the C word.
Don't drop the C word.
Then maybe edit it out.
I can't. I'm gonna try and edit that out.
Don't edit it. Will be the only time. Now I know.
Okay, knowing half the battle.
G.I. Joe. All right, so you drop that one. I will jump down to Scrubs.
Yeah,
Scrubs was.
I didn't actually see the ending of that.
So I did, and my wife's a big fan of it, and you could tell. I don't have all the great details right now, but the season before they did a nice send off. Like JD's like walking out of the hospital, and like everybody that's died in it is kind of in the hallway, like waving by and all this, and you're like, oh, this is how it should have fucking ended, right? Boom. Mm-hmm. And then they have then it turns into a fucking school, like a training, like it's a hospital, but it's training, and they got a whole new
class.
Like fucking terrible. Come on.
It does sound bad because it's all about that one specific group, right? They're like, hey,
yeah. You got JD, you got Turk, you got Stella. That
the chick that plays Stella.
The chick that plays
and
Stella.
She's also the replacement Becky.
Yes, and Roseanne. and Carla and Dr. Cox, who's fantastic.
Oh, it was great.
That like every time my wife watched, she's like, "I love this show, and if you were a doctor, that'd be you." This cocky motherfucker.
Well, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. Roseanne had a terrible ending.
It did.
And we're not talking about the revival, okay?
Yeah, no.
If something gets revived like more than 10 years later, that's a different series.
We're not on here talking about when girl meets boy or girl meets world
and shit
or
like that.
No.
That wasn't even a bad ending for that show. But
so Dan has a heart attack at the end of the second to last season.
Right, but that's not the ending though.
No, but they don't cover it. He has a heart attack and that's it. So the next season, they win the lotto. Dan's alive. They win the lotto. It's a completely different.
I don't remember Dan being alive in this last season, but was he?
Yeah. He doesn't die from the heart attack. He has a heart attack.
Oh.
And then the last show, she wakes up from the dream. It was a dream. She doesn't win the lotto. Dan died.
So was the whole series a dream?
No, the last season was a dream.
Oh, okay. So they pulled a what is it? Dallas.
Or a Newhart.
Newhart.
Fucking Inception. That's on my list.
Well, Newhart wasn't bad. Newhart wasn't a bad ending. I didn't know very little about it. I just know a little bit about it because I was super little when that was on.
Yeah, me too. But the concept that the whole Newhart series is a dream
from his old character.
From his own, and he wakes up to his original wife and suggests she wear sweaters like the wife, and that shit's like
hilarious,
solid. Like
they also I think they parodied it with Bryan Cranston did something like that where like he obviously Malcolm in the Middle was already over with, but it looked like he got hit in the head and he woke up and he was next to Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. He's like, I had this dream where I was like a guy making meth and I had cancer. It was so weird. I'm like, dude, that's good parody.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
All right, so you want Roseanne.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take over Sopranos. I don't know if that was big on your list.
Oh yeah, it was. You can have it. You're more of a fan than I was.
So I watched the show. I haven't rewatched it since it happened because
I don't think a lot of people have.
I don't want to reinvest in it.
Dude, that's like eating like the most delicious dinner and like the last bite tastes like complete shit.
I found myself like the last 2-3 episodes really like fucking amped up and like he's fucking losing his guys. They're getting fucking killed and you're like, holy shit. And like,
how's this gonna end?
You're watching the end and it's coming up the last like 5 minutes and and he's on edge and everything, and he's eating with his family and the fucking journey's on and like the door opens and then the bathroom door opens and you're like, holy shit, like is he gonna get like what's gonna fucking happen? It just goes black and you're like it's one of those like you thought the TV shut off or the cable went out, like, and then the credit shows you're like, that was fucking it. Like your adrenaline's up, you're getting fucking amped, and just I don't know if I've been more let down because it was so How I Met Your Mother, you're like it was like episode or 2 before that where you're like, shit, she might die. So like you're already kind of implanted like
well, yeah, but you had to ask yourself when you're watching How I Met Your Mother, why is he telling his kids this story?
Yeah, and where's the mom? And so you start seeing in that one, like, I'm going to be fucking livid when this comes. You're prepared.
Yeah,
right?
There's some foreshadowing.
Sopranos, you're geek, boom. Like, it's the quickest light switch of ready, and that's it.
I would have been more content if a giant middle finger appeared on the screen.
Yeah.
At least I know that they were trolling us. But no. Seriously, whoever thought of that ending, you can just jump in front of a fucking truck.
It might as well said, hey, we might do a movie later.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I felt like they ended it, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they'd already done like the Sex and the City movie. And I'm only comparing this because HBO.
Sex and the City.
I know me neither, but my point is like an HBO show that was already picked up for a movie. So I think that like you already had that hint, and it was like they're gonna do a fucking movie. And I mean, he dies, and they haven't done a movie.
Oh, well, if we're going to keep the whole HBO thing going, I'm going to say Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck it. I mean, that's on my list for sure.
Yeah.
What a fucking
nightmare.
How do you go from such a good show?
Okay, so it was all downhill in the last season. Everything. I mean, don't get me wrong. The cool thing about the army, the dead attacking. What's the fucking castle? Winterfell. Winterfell. Yeah. Okay, that was really cool. And like, the person that ended the battle didn't see that coming, but I was like, oh, that's badass. I didn't see that coming because you just automatically assumed Jon Snow was going to be the badass and he's going to fight the Night King. I'm like, oh, it's coming. He stared him down before. And then they threw that curveball. And I'm like, I can get behind that.
Right.
Obviously, they're saving something awesome for Jon Snow down the line. No, nothing.
No.
Fucking any mother of dragons, like, I'm not going to be like my brother. I'm not going to be like my family. You ended up being just like your fucking family.
Yep.
And you kind of talking about breaking the wheel. I mean, you phoned it in, man. And obviously, we get it. You use the books as the fucking roadmap. And
then you went rogue.
And then you went rogue.
You got ahead. You got ahead of the books, right?
No, they got high on their own fucking stash is what they did, Mike.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we're going to do that. And then you guess what? J.R.R. Martin, Mr. R.R. Martin, he still hasn't finished that fucking book, so he can't give you any fucking input.
Well, it started to go rogue, right? Because you got the little Lannister. He's killed in the books, right?
No.
No?
He isn't dead yet.
I thought he was dead in the books, and they didn't want to do that.
I don't believe he's dead in the books yet. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I'm actually working my way through the second to last, the one that.
Well, this was a while ago. It's not like I heard that recently, but I thought I
don't think he died. I apologize to anybody listening because I got to read the last book that has been released in the series. I have seen all the HBO shows. My viewpoint on that is I always get let down when I read the book and then I watch the movie and I'm like, oh, they changed all this shit in it. If I watch the show or the movie first, I'm not let down because the book's usually better.
So I'm that way, and people think I'm crazy because a lot of people like to read the book then watch the movie.
No.
I like to watch the movie, and then it's easy I don't have to do the work of imagining the characters. It's less work for me to read the book.
I kind of like imagining the characters, but I get where you're coming from.
It gives you, and I didn't really get this way until Harry Potter, and I had no interest in reading the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
But I had somebody that I was dating at the time that was really big into the books. So I read the 4th book when it came out while we were dating, and that's The Goblet of Fire. And I was like, oh my God, that's fucking
pretty good.
It was my favorite fucking book at
the time. Good thing you never read Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You would have been really fucking let down.
So I went back. Or the movie comes out, and I watch the movie because I'm all fucking amped about the movie because I'm like, oh my God, that's such a good fucking book.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so terrible. So I went back and read the first 3 books, and it's nice because I didn't have to imagine these characters. I know who they're talking about, but then I'm getting more detail because the books are so much better. And then I started doing that for like not Angels and Demons. What's the other one?
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. So I read the book before I saw the movie, but the previews were already out. So like. My point is, I'm already like, okay, when they're talking about Langston, like, all right, that's Tom Hanks. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm already picturing characters, so it made it easy. And the book was, again, far better.
Well, it's almost always the case.
Always, and that's what I was just talking about Moneyball earlier. Like,
yeah.
But I read Moneyball came out the book far before the movie, which is funny because the book came out, and when they're trying to describe the main character, the GM from the Oakland A's, Billy Beane, it was always like Brad Pitt could play him, trying to describe his look and his.
Oh, build. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, author. I know what you're trying to do now.
Right, and it's funny that he played him.
Well, they did that with the Ultimates. It was like a revamp of the Avengers in Marvel Comics, and they made Nick Fury a black guy, and they drew him just like Samuel Jackson.
No, so it was like
I'm like, oh well, there you go.
13 Reasons Why.
Oh God, that's just it. Should have been one season. You don't.
And even then, so I didn't watch it for a couple months. I know it was like the big fucking fad when it came out.
Fuck man, I couldn't go anywhere without somebody talking.
Right,
about it.
So I finally watched, and I was kind of pissed because my kids watched it before me, and I was like, they're right at that age where like fuck, there's a lot of shit that goes on.
It's pretty heavy.
There's fucking rape, and there's when she kills herself, that's fucking emotional. Like, you put yourself in the parents.
Well, and it was fucking gruesome too. I'm glad that it had people bitching about it. I'm like, wow, that's
but then you go into the other. What's there, 3 seasons? I think it's done now.
I hope so because I started watching the second season.
There's no. You don't need a happy ending. You don't expect a happy ending from that show.
One thing people need to realize: not all stories need to have a happy ending,
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
but you need closure. Whether it's good or bad, there needs to be fucking closure.
Yeah, it's not a David Lynch thing. That's why I hate David Lynch.
There's no closure in this show, and so if I was ranking them, it'd be on the bottom of my worst ones because I don't really care. It didn't emotionally affect me, like my hatred for How I Met Your Mother ending or Game of Thrones, or
Yeah, you weren't as invested as much in this one,
right?
Gotcha.
But it's still a shitty. Like, you needed closure.
That's you still poop down my back.
Right. Plus, there's a couple on my list that I know you have, so I was just trying to take a couple that.
Hey, dude, you shouldn't worry about overlapping. It's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Smallville.
And that's why I skipped Smallville. Here's what pissed me off about Smallville.
We are 2 of the biggest Superman fans you've ever met.
I've watched every Superman show that's out.
Did you watch Superboy?
Yes.
Oh, touche, salesman. Touche.
So the worst, there's a couple worst. Why the fuck were there 10 seasons on a show that was this fucking bad? 2, I think the worst part of Smallville was out, like, DVD wise, before streaming really jumped out.
And you spent money on
you're
every
spending
season.
$20 to $50 a fucking season. And I was one of those, like, if I own 2 or 3 seasons, I have to own all of them.
Okay, so let me do the math here. So you spent about $1,000 almost. No, maybe $500.
$500, if not less. I got a couple on sale. Like, sometimes they had the new one would be coming out, so the others would be like $15-$20. But still, let's say $500 on a shitty fucking show. And
it wasn't shitty at first.
At first, it was good. It was,
except for
but after a while, it was like. They got in the groove of every episode somebody gets powers.
That was first that season, man. That was Kryptonite freaks every fucking week. I got the ability to suck the heat out of stuff. And I'm like, Kryptonite, anytime I've ever said anything about Superman, it doesn't give human beings power. It gives them cancer. Over time. But, and it kills Superman.
And I didn't even mind the second to last season with Doomsday. I didn't mind it because you tried to tackle a great story with the budget of a TV show. So you're not going to get...
Like, I am not going to kick somebody in the teeth for having ambition.
Right. And so that it wasn't... I don't want to say it was great, but the show had been downhill. Then all of a sudden you tried to do Doomsday and you didn't... It wasn't great, but the image of Doomsday...
Look cool. They got pretty... They got pretty close to it.
By the ending of his look...
Then there were episodes throughout the entire series of Smallville that I thought was awesome, like the one with the Legion, where the 3 people came back from. Yeah, I thought that was fucking awesome, and I'm like, they're busting out the Legion. I'm like, this DC, you got to do this. You got to bring in the lesser known commodities.
Good actor, like the he's in that. I don't watch the show, but that This Is Us, that dude that plays he played Oliver Queen in that show.
Oh,
Justin Hartnell or something like that.
Yeah, Justin Hartnell. He was actually in the Aquaman pilot for the CW. You can see this pilot online on YouTube. It actually looked pretty damn good.
I didn't mind him. I didn't mind some of the actors played.
Black Canary was hot, and she was a good actor too.
And Lex is perfect. Michael
Rosenbaum. Yeah, he comedian of all things.
Yeah,
great maniacal.
Perfect.
He did. And then you just in every fucking episode that. Was it John Glover showed up?
Yeah, Lionel Luthor.
I'm like, you're a cocksucker.
What an asshole! I hated him. He's doing his job there. Like, fucking Lionel Luthor was a fucking
what
dick.
A prick.
Yeah, what a fucking asshole, and what a terrible father.
I can see now.
You have empathy for Lex.
Yes.
It's the only show that gives you empathy
for Lex Luthor.
Because the dad was nobody really tackles Lex. He's just this asshole that always.
He's a super smart asshole, and he hates Superman because he's an alien.
But they don't really cover it. Like, up until Smallville, did they really ever?
Well, in the comic book, they did a little bit, but they really expanded on it. Like, Smallville kind of like helped.
They did a good job in that.
They did.
But the end was. I mean, you wait 10 fucking seasons till you're gonna finally get him like in the cape, and they hint. I mean, he's wearing the fucking colors for years with his fucking red leather jacket and his blue T-shirt.
Yes,
I would fucking kick his ass. The blue blur. The blue blur.
Red blur or something like that. It was the blur. They called it the blur for a while.
Oh my god!
I'm like, you're like
and
the
then what
band,
was the one
like
season,
the band.
What was the season that like the fucking Lana was a witch? They were witches.
I know.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
and then there's one where like
she's got the fucking.
She turned into a vampire in one. Like there's like some kind of genetic thing that bit her, and she turned into a fucking vampire. And I'm like,
here's normal Lana, and then her fucking tramp stamp comes on, and all of a sudden she's a witch.
I'm a witch, and she turns the two other girls on the show into witches also.
Yeah.
I'm
so
like,
it's Charmed.
Fucking instant cut. Yeah.
So this Inception charm into us without giving us the hot bitches from Charmed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucked up.
That's
Where's
super-
my Rose McGowan? Where's my Shannon Doherty?
I wouldn't say Jane.
Alyssa Milano. I would nail all three of them.
Oh,
I've done worse.
You have.
See?
But the last episode of Smallville was their take on Darkseid. Okay, look. It's a TV show. Again, I don't blame them for being ambitious. But when you say that John Glover, who is the biggest cock throughout the entire show, becomes the embodiment of Darkseid, and all Superman does is he stops in midair and flies and hits him, and he turns into a puff of smoke and disappears. What the fuck? Come on,
that's
man.
not how you defeat Darkseid.
That's how you defeat Darkseid.
Okay, my memory may be a little vague here, but like when they did Doomsday, there was like a ruined wedding, right? It was like fucking Chloe.
Yeah.
Doesn't somebody that like the guy she was gonna marry die or something like that?
Yeah, it was Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
I'm like, you killed off Jimmy Olsen on this? I'm like,
That's right. So like you got like you have this nice build up and somebody dies, like, oh, and then here's Darkseid.
No, Darkseid's next. Cheers.
Also, can we quickly talk about the girl that played Allison Mack? Like, she's in fucking jail.
Yeah, she's part of a sex cult.
Yeah, holy shit, never saw that coming. What the fuck was that?
I want to cover this in future time because that's a great thing you brought up.
What the fuck?
I was actually thinking about
what
that.
What about it? Like a shocking, like
what the fuck happened?
First of all, I hadn't heard her name since the end of Smallville. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, she's fucking sex trafficking. What?
No, we're not laughing about sex trafficking. No.
A, she's alive?
She's like, yeah. Like,
I heard. B, what the fuck?
Come again?
yeah, Jesus Christ. All right. That's all. That's enough of Smallville.
It's enough of Smallville, and we'll cover
Allison Mack
in a future time.
Yes, Jesus. Real quickly on Smallville though, I started watching Flash and Arrow and really got into those shows, but I kind of fell off. Not that I wasn't into them. I just
Arrow ended bad. Arrow ended bad too.
Oh, is it over? Oh,
yeah.
It is over. That's right. He is
bad.
done with that. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it because I'm kind of pissed off about it. But I
just wanted to cut. So, like, I haven't seen the multiverse.
Oh, the Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen snippets. So, like, shout out to having like Tom Welling
show up
and Lois. She was in it also.
Yeah, they obviously cared about the characters, and I really wish it wouldn't have happened that way, where he's like, "Oh, I gave my powers up."
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
I'm like, dude, the whole thing was about you.
You really just made Smallville even worse.
You totally validated it because it's all about you learning about your powers and accepting it, and then you're like, you could have gave them up fucking 8 years ago.
Yeah, did 2 seasons, gave it up, and Smallville ends. We're like, what great show.
Oh, yeah, it was
Ended
good.
early.
Yeah, it ended early. New take on the Superman mythos. Really quite astounding.
I like how they kept killing Lana.
Yeah,
because I hated her anyways, but then it's like she'd die, she'd be back, and it's like, what the fuck,
man.
Anyways, all right, so I'm gonna jump over to, and this is coming back, but it still counts as a terrible ending. Is fucking Dexter.
Oh yeah.
They are coming. They actually just released.
Well,
I don't want to call it a trailer. It's one of those fucking like teasers.
They could have ended that show after the Trinity Killer.
Yes,
and it would have been solid, but
epic.
No, you just get them fucking squeezing the shit out of stuff.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. So the first 4 seasons were really fucking good, and then even after that, like I found this very formula for Dexter where it'd be like you'd watch the first couple episodes, you get introduced to the bad guy, and you're like, okay, that's cool. And then you'd have like half a season where you're like, all right, where the fuck's this going with? And then all of a sudden it'd be like, only 3 episodes left, and you're like, what the fuck? And then those 3 would be awesome.
Yeah.
But the middle of every season from 5 on was terrible. But then it'd be like, how are they gonna wrap all this up? Oh my god, they did good.
See, and the thing is, when he was always at odds with other serial killers, so that's what made it very unique.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting, but to me, it was kind of like playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Like, you got your interesting character, Little Mac, which is you, and then every box you face is very fucking unique and exotic and shit, and that's what made it really cool.
Yeah, because all these guys were definitely. So we had because they're coming out with whatever they're doing with Dexter.
Because enough people bitched about how it ended.
Well, then all these should be fucked.
Whoa, not all of them.
So,
I can't go through dinosaurs again, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't want to do that to you. We just decided to start rewatching Dexter because I haven't watched it since it ended.
Because you were pissed.
Yeah. So we're only 1 episode in, but like you forget because I've only watched this like once. So like it's the Untitled Killer, which I'm not saying spoiler because we're covering fucking like.
Yeah, no, you don't have to because
yes.
There's a spoiler at the very beginning of the show. I made it as a title thing, so I don't have to keep on saying it.
Oh, nice. So, which is the Untitled Killer, which is like his brother or whatever it is, but it ended, and I was like, oh shit, I forget. Like, he comes home and he's got the fucking the magnet on his, and then the body parts are in the little dolls in the fridge, and I'm like, holy shit, fuck, I forgot. Like,
fuck, I forgot. Damn it.
But watch it. It's funny because. LaGuardia, I forgot she was like thirsty for Dexter in the beginning.
Super thirsty.
Yeah, and I forgot that, and Deb was fucking butch ugly in the beginning, and then she gets cute for a little bit, but man, she's fucking Manjaw.
Manjaw, the newest Masters of the Universe villain. Manjaw.
Anyways, so Deborah dies. All the stuff happens, it's like, okay, he's gonna get caught. He drives off in a boat and is fucking in the storm, and you're like,
he becomes a fucking.
He's just
lumberjack.
gonna die. He's just stupid because you really wanted to kind of see him get caught.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't say the right. It says you can get away with being a serial killer in this. The movie kind of says the wrong thing about it. It's like, hey, you can kill people. Just become a lumberjack. Nobody will give a fuck where you are.
Yeah. So you think he's gonna die in this storm that he's driving into in his boat, and then it fades and post credits. He's got a beard on. And it's like, what? Come on,
don't do that.
That's fucked up. But then and they're gonna give you this in the end now, but it's like, oh, so they're gonna do a fucking they're gonna pick it back up, and they did.
And they did.
So all right,
yeah, but we're still because it's been how many years?
Shit. 7 or 8.
Okay, it's not quite 10, but we're still
not 10. Yeah,
but we're still gonna say, hey, this isn't a continuation of the original series. I mean,
yeah, no, this is It hasn't been done technically yet, so we're covering this as if it's over at that point.
Right.
So.
Next up is I used to watch the show and I didn't understand it when I was little. It was Quantum Leap, and I actually caught like old episodes online, and it was a pretty funny show, and it was enjoyable, and in parts it was scary. Like certain episodes scared the shit out of me, like the one where he actually encountered the fucking devil. But this was quintessential. Hey, you know what? We need to wrap this up because we're not doing this anymore. It fucking ended up with Sam Beckett, who's jumping in all these different people's bodies throughout time, trying to make bad things that happen, rectify it, make it better. He ends up in this bar with this mysterious guy, who I assume is fucking God. And the end of the episode says, Sam Beckett never made it home. And they spelled his name wrong. And I'm like, what? What happened? you really just you fucking want to get people that mad about this? I mean, because Quantum Leap.
Well, sure, it was like on USA, right?
I think it was on USA. I don't know.
I don't think it was a network show.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was on NBC.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've seen the show, but I don't have a lot of, and
No.
It is listed on a bad. Like I was kind of doing my homework here, and that one jumped out, and I remember you had always been bitching about, it, so I was like, well, I'm gonna let him cover that one. So,
well, yeah, honest truth, I wasn't invested in it, but I think that is the laziest. The reason I'm offended by that, I mean, I wasn't like, again, I was super little, and I didn't watch it like, like you're a little kid, you worry about cartoons and stuff like that. But I looked at it, and when I found out all these like bad endings to TV shows, I'm thinking to myself, that is the laziest fucking way to end a show that's been on for more than 4 years.
Some of these, like, I want to go back and be like we were talking about Alf, and you don't know if like they planned, like, I want to go back. And
I don't
like,
think they planned it.
like, I wonder if they got, because you could go back now and be like, oh yeah, they had to,
Oh yeah, they had to do this. They were painted into a corner.
Because so I'm a big fan of New Girl.
Yeah.
And that show ended, but because the
How
network,
did it end?
Well, it ends twice.
Of course it does.
Because the network cut it off, so they ended it,
Uh-huh.
and they end it with the main two characters they had dated early on, Nick and Jess.
Yeah, the
And
guy from Let's Be Cops, right?
Yes.
That
So,
guy's hilarious.
there's two guys from New Girl and Let's Be Cops, isn't it?
The white dude.
Yeah, but yes. But I'm just saying, what's the black dude in that is?
That's Damon Wayans' son.
Yes, he's in New Girl as well. That's Coach.
Oh yeah, that is Coach.
So
I haven't watched New Girl hardly at all.
I am a big fan. Fucking underrated show.
Okay.
So fucking hilarious. Anyways, so it ends with them, quote unquote, getting back together, and then they pick it up. Like 2 years later, they talk the network into doing like 8 episodes to officially end it, which I was really geeked about. But then it's like, man, you talked them into doing this.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But you begged for this.
You begged for it.
If you had a plan.
You didn't have a plan, man. I don't think you had a plan.
Yeah, I think you just needed more money. A couple of them, because there's only a couple that haven't done much since.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's done some. He's in the Spider-Man the multiverse, the
multiverse of wait.
The cartoon movie.
Oh, Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes, Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, he's one of the Spider-Men, and he's the voice.
Nicolas Cage is also in that, and he is
yes,
awesome as the noir Spider-Man.
Yep.
He got a Rubik's Cube, but he couldn't see in color. Okay, so next up, now this is on a lot of lists, and from what I can see, like I've never seen an episode of this. Maybe I think I caught like when I went to my grandma's, I saw like part of an episode. But again, we're gonna go on like really, really, like. Did they plan this all along, or were they just kind of like, we're going to be artsy fartsy with this? It's Saint Elsewhere, and it's about about a hospital or something.
Yeah, that one's on the list, but I have no knowledge. I didn't.
Well, it's Saint Elsewhere. Yeah, it's at a like Saint Elsewhere hospital. Like I looked into it too, and I'm like, oh okay. And then like the episode ends with it doing like a pan out of the entire it zooms out, and the snow's falling. And you see the hospital inside a snow globe, and there's this autistic kid playing with it, and it leads you to believe that everything that happened on that show was all in the mind of an autistic kid. And I'm like, wow, holy shit!
I'd be pissed.
I would be pissed too.
That's that being infatuated with trying to pull the wool over, no matter what the cost is.
Yes, it's like, is anything real?
Like,
why don't you?
Your mother, like, hey, let's put him back with Robin. After doing everything we could to say. I'm always going to go back to
Robin.
Your Mother. Fuck that show. I still watch it when it's on because it's a hilarious show.
Well, I agree.
I am going to go with 2.5 Men.
Okay.
So. It's hard. I don't want to blame. There's some of these that are on the list. It's hard to okay, you lost your main character.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And you replaced him with Ashton Kutcher, and that sucked.
Yeah.
And that
they did the same thing with that '70s show.
And fucking The Ranch on Netflix. They lost Danny Masterson.
You ever notice this around that? It involves people from that '70s show. Like Danny Masterson disappeared, and then Charlie Sheen disappeared, but then Ashton Kutcher went on that show. And then yeah.
Weird.
So
anyways, so my main issue, and the show gets bad with Ashton Kutcher. Not really his fault. You're not Charlie Sheen, and he's a side character.
Well, fucking Charlie Sheen went Super Saiyan, and
right.
He was super popular after he left that show.
But his anger management show didn't really take off.
It did good. It was on for a couple of seasons.
But anyways, my issue is the ending. You build up this tease where Charlie is alive.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like, what are they doing here? But like, here's my thing. I think part of my issue might be I'm a wrestling fan, where like anything can
you want
happen.
payoff. You want a payoff.
The payoff where you'd never think it happened, and then like, holy fuck, what if I watch this and Charlie Sheen shows back up? That'd be fucking awesome, right? So you're like, all right, I'm gonna watch this fucking live, and the whole fucking half hour they're teasing this, and then they kill off this guy. That's not him, but they want to tease it, and this fucking piano drops on him, and then here's the director and his cocky ass. Like it was him feeding his own ego.
What the fuck, Chuck Lorre? What the fuck?
Yeah, fucker.
Yeah. Oh, you showed him. No, you just pissed all of us off.
Yep. But your ego. Congratulations.
Great job with your ego, Dick.
And what do you do? Like make more shows? Oh shit, he is.
He does. He's a lot more. He's more wealthy than we are. He's got a lot of money.
That Young Sheldon show is fucking terrible.
I never watch it.
So I don't want to watch it, but we'll go to bed sometimes and just leave the TV on, and we'll have like friends on like Nick at Night or something.
Oh yeah, Chuck Lorre is like behind that, isn't he?
Well, behind what?
The Young Sheldon show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, is it Lauren? Chuck Lauren or Lauren?
Chuck Lorre.
Oh, okay.
Lorre, I think.
That was Lorne. And anyways, doesn't matter. You know what we're fucking talking about. So
don't
show comes on sometimes after Friends at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'll wake up and I'm like, oh god. I like the character in Big Bang Theory, but
yeah. Not every popular character has to have a backstory.
But Big Bang, the thing that's good about Big Bang Theory is all the characters. Like it's not that Sheldon's great, but he's feeding off Leonard, he's feeding off Penny,
right?
He's feeding off Amy Farrah Fowler, like he's fucking with Howard, you know,
right?
Like,
yeah, it's
MIT. He acts like.
Like a master's from MIT's like a fucking slouch school.
Like
doctor.
he got out of kindergarten.
Yeah.
So like that shit's funny, and that show they did a good job of. You had these main characters with Raj and Howard. Really, you had the main 3, and then they did well in developing Raj and Howard, and then they did a good job of developing Amy Farrah Fowler and Bernadette.
Oh yeah, absolutely, every single one of them.
So all of a sudden, you've got 6, 7 characters instead of 3. Like you did a good job there.
It got stacked.
Yeah,
you cared about it.
But Young Sheldon, like, yeah, okay, you just got this little kid.
This little kid. He lives in Texas, and he's really smart.
Yeah, but yeah. So the point of that was, I just hated the ending. And the show was gonna go downhill. You've replaced
2.5 Men. Yeah.
But okay.
Next up is Lost.
I have that on my list, but I was gonna let you tackle that one.
Nice.
I watched the
phenomenon, the utter phenomenon of Lost that everybody talked about.
So I didn't watch it when it came out, but I started watching it, and then I was reading about how people were bitching about how bad the ending was, and I was like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to. So I watched like 5 episodes, and I just stopped because I was like, I already heard the payoff wasn't there.
It's like watching a porno and now watching the climax. It's the worst.
Watching Brazzers on Pornhub, they don't have the end. They cut out right before the ending.
Then it gets all squiggly and you can't see what's going on. But no, all right. The Sixth Sense was a groundbreaking movie. It actually made it appear that M. Night Shyamalan had talent.
Nailed it, by the way, for
he almost
pronouncing his name. Nailed it first try.
Oh yeah, did you?
You did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
He didn't.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, it actually made that director appear like he had talent, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" And I was like taken back by it, right? So anyway, they're thinking, how do we end this show that people have so many answers to, that we have strung along for 7, what year? Was it on for 7 years?
I don't fucking know.
Well, it was on for
5
a while.
Episodes.
So it was on for a while, and well, it's J.J. Abrams, so he's not big on like finishing things off. He just kind of, I'm going to tie it together, and they're all fucking dead. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking wow, dude.
And you can tell we hate like the no closure, like the lazy, like it was a dream.
It was a dream. They were all dead.
Globe. They were dead.
Yeah, exactly. It was a painting. I mean, give it a time. Now that I've said that, somebody's going to hear this and they're going to do something. It's going to end in a painting. Kiss my ass.
I'll be pissed.
Oh, I'll be
I
so.
will hunt you down.
Patent pending.
I will teabag you in your sleep. We'll find you.
We will find you.
All right, so I've got just a couple more here for me. I don't know how many more you have.
I don't have much.
I wrote down last second here Glee, which I'm not sure you watched. And
No, I don't watch Glee.
It's most people may not have. I'm a music fan, so I enjoyed some of the Glee covers. Were very good. I also enjoyed Santana and the lesbian story of her and Britney S. Spears. So the show was great, and Santana, rest in peace, Naya Rivera.
Yeah.
One of the hottest females in the world. Good God. Oh, man. But it's also, you lose a main character. The guy dies of a drug overdose in real life, so you had to kill off the character.
Yeah.
And that episode was fucking rough. You didn't watch this. I think it's called The Quarterback. Is the episode. I think
Was it about a quarterback?
Well, he was the quarterback.
Yeah.
But there's just a scene in it, and I got emotionally involved. Not emotional, but I mean, I got emotionally invested in the show. And then, you've got this mom's just losing her shit. Like, they don't prepare you for this. And everybody's asking me how I'm doing. I'm not doing okay. And it's like, holy shit, like I got kids, It's like, oh, okay. And then it just progressively got worse. And I had actually just recently watched the last 2 seasons because I never finished it.
Yeah.
And I think it was home with COVID or something. It's on Netflix, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll watch this. I get Naya Rivera even if it's bad. And then they add Adam Lambert, who is a great singer. Mm-hmm. They add him on the show for parts, and then they had Demi Lovato at the same time, and Demi Lovato's fucking fantastic. And they have her as a waitress that sings occasionally in the background, and I'm like, you have Demi fucking Lovato.
I kind of like that though. I kind of like that. It would it's like Bill Murray who did a cameo in the second Dumb and Dumber movie that Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey did. You don't even know it's fucking him. He's wearing a full white suit with a respirator on. He's making meth in the background, and they're like, "Yeah, that's Bill Murray." I'm like, "No fucking way." That's great.
Bill Murray's his own fuking unique, like that one documentary.
Except for The Dead Don't Die, that man does no wrong, or maybe Garfield. Yeah.
But anyways, I have it on there because it gets bad towards the end. I'm not even discussing the last. It just progressively gets.
Go ahead, watch it. Anybody out there who wants to go see it, go watch it.
First of all, there's some good covers in there. I did enjoy some of the music.
I think the last on my list is going to be Heroes.
Yeah,
and we're not talking about Heroes Reborn, okay? Because that kind of ended lackluster as well because they were hoping to get more fucking episodes out of it.
So I had it on mine, but really, I watched the first 2 seasons, and I watched the first season. I was like,
first season was so good,
so fucking good, and I'm like, Silas is so badass, and then
Siler,
and then you get into the second season, you're like, how did you go from that good to that bad that quick?
I mean, Adam Monroe was a cool add-on character for the second season, but I mean, even adding that guy didn't make it any that much better.
It was such a bad show by 4 episodes into the second season.
Yeah, and that's obviously
they went from ended top of the charts.
Wait, but can I actually use this, Mike? Does it just end?
I think they got cut off, but
I think they got cut off. I don't think this counts.
But I'm putting them on there though because you went from that good to that bad though. So
you
dropped the ball. You would have dropped the ball anyways.
Yeah, you would have dropped the ball.
The ending would have been bad anyways.
And then there was in third season.
I seen the last episode, but I can't even fucking think of that's how.
No, I did. It had the carnival.
Yeah, the carnival.
And Siler, he's like, I'm a hero, and I'm like, oh, he's a good guy now. What the fuck? All right. There's nobody as strong as you, dude.
Yeah. You gain everybody's powers.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to crack their head open and look at it, but
That's fine.
But then they did Heroes Reborn, which was I think 7 or 10 years later, and we brought back a lot of the people, but obviously the ones
I didn't even watch it.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
No, you didn't miss much. It was the guy that played Noah. The dude that was bagging and tagging everybody, the company man that you were like that. I don't like you, and even if you're a good guy, I still don't fucking like you.
Yeah. That's a good one. I was gonna let you carry that one, but I did have that on my list. The other ones on my list, I don't have a lot of
too much
experience
knowledge
at
with?
all.
Okay.
But we can just mention maybe you have some. If not,
I know a little bit. True Blood.
True Blood. I bought my wife the first season, and then
He wanted to get laid. That's why.
No, I think it was like, fucking, here, try this. Like, see
Try
if you
this.
like this.
No, like the first season of True Blood's so good.
Yeah, it's on the list.
It's a great concept too, but how it ended, man, you can tell when shit limps on. Just end it. Just do yourself a favor, writers. Do yourselves a favor. If you leave if you feel like it's starting to limp on.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna do something mediocre, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
Yeah, I don't care what you pay me. It's time to go.
Deuces.
Yep. So, so I had that one on the list because that was one that, when you're kind of doing your homework, and like I wanted to look and be like, okay, I watch a lot of TV, but I watch everything.
Right. Same here.
And I wrote Happy Days on there, obviously, just from jumping
we did
the
reference
shark.
it earlier.
Yes, just because jumping the shark and the show goes downhill so bad. That one, fuck it, Gilligan's Island's like 3 seasons.
Yeah,
they're still on the island.
They're still on the fucking island.
Didn't they do like something afterwards, like a movie or something? Because I remember watching an episode where they get saved, and was that a dream?
I don't know.
Or was that a movie afterwards?
It was a bunch of fucking fake outs with that show. I don't remember. I remember Gilligan's Island, but I do not know how it ended.
And at 3 seasons, they're still on the island.
They're still on the fucking island.
So there's no closure.
Yeah.
And as we say, give me fucking...
I need closure.
Listen, if they all died on the island starving, I'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
Closure.
Closure.
Like... hey, they just never get saved. Like, that's okay. I don't need...
Sam Beckett never made it home. See, I mean, they gave me closure, but I think it was fucking god awful.
If I were to write a show, my ending would be, like, I'd have people pissed at me, but I'd just fucking...
You'd probably laugh about it. So you're getting mad at something that other people do.
No, so like, if I wrote for, like, Knight Rider, like, he'd be driving one day and just, boom, total accident, car's totaled. End of show. Like, that's how
there's a special feature.
I would do like the scene, when like they're driving in the car and the guy's not paying attention, she's looking at the girl.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're about to get fucking hit.
Yeah.
Right?
Doom Patrol.
Yeah. Any show ever where like they're looking this way and you're like anytime that happens, I was like, oh god, look at the road.
There's a road, you're gonna die.
I'd have him cut like, maybe he's in an argument with Kit. Like Kit's like, hey, I need an oil change.
Was nothing but agreeable.
Yeah. Kit's like, hey, I need a fucking oil change.
I need a fucking oil.
And Hasselhoff's like, I don't have the money right now. We'll do it next week. He's like, I need it now. And they're arguing, and then boom,
he gets by a semi truck.
Yep.
And it flips.
Yes.
And it catches on fire.
Yes. And then be. But that's like, I want that type of shit as like I don't know. I want funny shit like that. Like,
that wouldn't be funny though. That's not a comedy, Mike. He fights crime, bro.
But somebody would be watching it and be like, that's awesome.
That's awesome. I think that you'd be the only person that'd be like, oh, that's awesome.
I pay good money for that.
You wouldn't just borrow someone else's account to watch the show.
I'd be the type that like directed a porno and like the guy gets like 2 pumps and he's done. And the girl's pissed off. Like
Bucky Larson.
Like that's like I just want to fuck with people in that. Like I'm not gonna pull the wool. You're gonna get closure on everything. I'm not pulling the wool over you.
The thing is though, Mike, do you think they're doing that to everybody else? They're fucking with you with these bad endings that we're bitching about?
They're pissing me off. You don't want to piss me off. I'm like the fucking mini Hulk.
What are you gonna do about it? Well, I'm gonna piss and moan like an impotent jerk.
I'll throw shit though. I'm angry.
I'm gonna piss and moan like an impotent jerk, and then bend over and take it up the tailpipe.
Oh, so bad.
But anyway, I think is there any left on the?
No, I've got to. When you go through the list and stuff that we haven't talked about might be on like we're all gonna have different opinions. So
yeah.
Some of the shit that they put on there that's like bad endings. I don't agree.
Necessarily think it's bad.
I like and just to kind of go over ones that are listed as bad.
Well,
if you want me to.
Well, no, there's one.
Well, they have Seinfeld listed on bad. I'm not a Seinfeld fan, but
no, it's closure. It's just because they weren't like superheroes and they came out on top. I mean, like
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like Seinfeld's on.
They ended up in jail for a year.
Seinfeld was on the list. Friends. I like the ending of Friends. I know some people don't, but I think a lot of people do. There's closure and everything there.
Mm-hmm.
And people bitch about like, okay, Joey develops feelings for Rachel. Rachel's like, that's all you got. No, you have 6 friends that hang out like those guys did. You're gonna develop feelings for somebody in that group. Like, so like I'm not. It's not like they're like, oh, it's lazy writing. No,
it happens. I've been in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, like of course, like Rachel's fucking hot. Like all of them, there should have been a Chandler has feelings for.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people say Supernatural's ending was good. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, after they defeated all these giant powerhouses in like God, they beat God in this show, and I'm like, I didn't agree with that. I'm like, it's God,
Yeah.
How you do that?
Yeah,
but. After all that's said and done, Dean dies. He gets killed by a vampire. I'm like, that's like shooting down. In this show, in this universe, it's like shooting down a 747 with a Nerf gun. And then he's like, oh, don't bring me back. He ends up in heaven. Then Sam lives the rest of his life, and he ends up in heaven too. And they're reunited. I'm like,
yeah.
No, it's fine. Okay, they're happy. They're happy. They got what they got a great reward. But I mean, it left me flat.
Yeah. And like Fresh Prince, I don't really count, if I'm not mistaken,
They
Fresh
moved.
Prince. But on Fresh Prince, I think it was like 5 to 7 episodes before they're done. They're like, hey, this is it. So you had to kind of wrap everything quickly there.
Yeah, you can't careful, but they didn't do a bad job with it.
No, but some people don't like it because it was abrupt. But it was abrupt because I think
the title is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He moved out of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Therefore, he's no longer the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Well, at some point he had to anyways. Like he was like fucking 25 or something. Yeah. Like he'd already graduated high school. Like,
he graduated college.
Right. Like you can't. Like you got to move out of Uncle Phil's.
You got to get the fuck out of Uncle Phil's.
So
I know the guy's a lawyer, a judge, or a lawyer, or whatever it is, but I mean, still, stop being a mooch.
And the last little bitch, I loved the show Boy Meets World always. Mm-hmm. My only bitch on bad endings is how the fuck is Feeney teach them the entire fucking show?
There is something I'm going to field in the future about this, about creep characters that follow.
Feeney! Yeah, how the fuck?
Saved by the Bell. Belding was the biggest fucking creep in Saved by the Bell.
Well, Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris is a fucking asshole.
Zach Morris is an asshole, but this is not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, boy, my only piss off, and I guess it's like, this isn't an ending, so I am going rogue here, so my bad. But that's okay. That's the ADD. But yeah, like how the fuck is Feeney their teacher? Like a teacher doesn't get to bounce up every year from elementary school.
It's pretty specified. I think you get I get a teaching certificate to teach junior high school. I got to teach high school. Yeah, that's not how it works.
No.
And I think the last one we have on here is Happy Days. I don't know how Happy Days ended.
I wrote it down only because
Jump the shark.
I can't remember how. I know it ends bad. Once they jump the shark, I think it gets canceled shortly after. Like it drops so bad.
Well, I mean, the term is actually jump the shark because he jumped a shark in an episode,
and then it was all downhill from that moment.
I mean, the only thing that replaced it was Nuke the Fridge because of that last god awful Indiana Jones movie.
Yes.
But anyway, that was our episode for you guys.
That's our bitching.
That's our bitching, and we hope you enjoyed and you found some common ground with us on this.
If you didn't enjoy it, fuck off.
No, we don't mean that. That's just Mike being, Mike.
That's me. Sorry.
So, feel free to follow us on social media as well as subscribe at Podbean. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you have any suggestions for future episodes or you want to tell us we're stupid and we don't know what we're talking about, feel free to send us an email.
Comment on a Pornhub movie and I'll find
it. or leave a comment in the description.
Not on a Brazzers one, though. I'm not watching that shit. They don't give me
Mike doesn't pay for it. He just goes off the free shit. So anyway, we will catch you guys later.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Broken Battery Podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the show, and you can do this on either Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, or on Podbean.